This is an iHeart podcast.
Yeah, I do. I think the Republicans will vote for an extension. We won't have any Democrat votes. We could give the greatest budget ever. Tax cut of 50%, everybody taken care of, perfect for women, perfect for men, perfect for minorities, perfect for everything, and we wouldn't get one vote for the Democrats because they've lost their mind.
You're listening to the 47 Morning Update with Ben Ferguson.
Good Thursday morning. Nice to have you with us on the 47 Morning Update, and we've got one very big and important story for you. It deals with vaccines and parental rights being restored in Florida. The left and the media losing their minds, including many doctors who are furious that the state there is getting rid of vaccine mandates, including for your kids to go to school. So why are they so angry? We'll explain it. And many of the thoughts that I had about this, I got to say on CNN. You do not want to miss it. But first, let me tell you about Crockett Coffee. If you drink coffee like I do, I drink it every day, I want a great cup of coffee. Well, my good friends Clay Travis and Buck Sexton decided to start a company that only did small batch premium coffee. Small batch roasted coffee is just another level of incredible, amazing, smooth coffee that if you've never tried it before, you've got to do it because every cup is premium. It's not average. It's not even good. It's amazing coffee. Crockett Coffee, they do this in small batches. And there's no need to give your money to the woke liberal coffee brands that are out there because, my good friends, that's part of the reason why they started this company. They are sick and tired of giving their money to companies that hate our values. And they said, hey, we can do this and do it better than anybody else. Now, at Crockett Coffee, you can choose between fresh ground or whole bean or K-Cups. You choose. And if you're interested in mushroom coffee and the positive benefits that come with enjoying that each day, Crockett Coffee is now producing that as well. They've got dark roast, mild roast, a light roast, even a decaf version, and a mushroom organic blend. You choose what you like, and I'm going to save you money to try Crockett Coffee right now. You can go online to crockettcoffee.com. Use my name, Ben. You're going to get 20% off your first order, and then you're going to be hooked. That's crockettcoffee.com. Use my name, Ben, as your promo code, 20% off. Something else I love about Crockett Coffee is not just the amazing coffee you get, but a portion of your purchase will go to support Tunnel to Towers Foundation because the good people at Crockett Coffee also pledge to never forget. So go to crockettcoffee.com. Use my name, Ben. Get 20% off your first order and get the best cup of coffee you've ever had each and every day. It's the 47 Morning Update, and it starts right now.
Story number one.
Cause and effect is something that happens all the time. Well, there was a major cause and effect when it came to COVID-19 and the lies that were told to the American people about that vaccine. And so many of the regulations and rules that put us in a lockdown for far too long. What happened? There's a lot of people now asking more questions than ever about the CDC and not trusting the CDC, not trusting them on vaccines. It also brought up an even bigger point. Should the government be able to mandate what vaccines you have to have for your kids? Well, Florida, they said they believe that parents should have the rights over their children, not the federal government when it comes to vaccines. Let me be clear about what happened in Florida. It is not in Florida, and this is very important, a ban on vaccines. What Florida has now done is said parents can decide, not the government. And that brings us to the big headline. Liberals are losing their minds because they want the government to be able to dictate to you what you have to do for your children. Florida, now we know, plans to eliminate all vaccine mandates, including those required for children attending public schools. The announcement came from the Surgeon General of Florida and was made during a press conference alongside Governor Ron DeSantis. Now, the Surgeon General described the mandates as oppressive and even likened them to slavery and framed the repeal as a matter of parental choice, bodily autonomy, and medical freedom. Florida, by the way, would become the first U.S. state to withdraw mandatory vaccination requirements entirely. marking a significant shift from decades of public health policy. Now, while the Department of Health can rescind mandates it issued administratively, any vaccine requirements established by law, such as those for polio, measles and mumps, and tetanus, for example, will require legislative action to quote-unquote repeal. Well, the liberals, their minds exploded over this, as well as many in the medical field. The American Medical Association say that the repeal would, quote, undermine decades of public health progress and dramatically increase the risk of serious illness. Well, guess what? If you guys at the CDC and in the medical community wouldn't have lied about the COVID vaccine and its effectiveness, or the spread, or masking, or staying 6 feet apart, or shutting down the schools, or any of the issues you lied to us about with COVID, then we might actually believe you on issues moving forward. But the reality is, Americans don't. Infectious disease leaders also came out warning of likely outbreaks of preventable diseases like measles and polio, especially in schools, and vulnerable populations. Florida Democrats echoed these concerns, with Senator Jones calling it a, quote, grave public health risk. Another state senator emphasized disease like polio could return, and that would be horrific for Florida. Now, I went on CNN Newsnight with Abby Phillips. It was the lead story. And I want you to hear how the media is now attacking Donald Trump for this, saying that he's going to have kids die because of a policy that's been enacted in Florida. Yes, they want to fearmonger you and control you yet again. Listen carefully.
Joining the conversation for this one is Dr. Cruz Parental. She's the director of the NAACP Center for Health Equity and Public Health and Preventative Medicine physician. And Dr. Parental, you know this well. In 2020, we had 13 cases of measles. 2025, 1,400. A huge increase in whooping cough in this country. And at the same time, the rates of vaccine exemptions have gone up by about a point since 2019. None of this is by accident. None of this is by osmosis. And now this in Florida.
Reckless. If I could sum it up in one word, let's just go to some facts. And I have them here to keep myself honest. Since the last 30 years, we've saved over 150 million lives because of vaccines globally. If we begin to think about in the United States, we've saved over 1.1 million children due to vaccinations since 1994. We've prevented 508 million illnesses and 32 million hospitalizations. That's not anything to wink at. That's hardcore data. But what's happening in the United States is as if we are a runaway train. In public health, we talk about the cliff of good health, and we have fallen completely off of the cliff.
That's kind of what it feels like in a way, Ben, that everybody sitting at this table, all the folks in Florida, all of these people who are vaccine skeptics now have benefited from vaccines allowing them to live their lives without polio, without measles. And now all of a sudden they want to pull the rug out from underneath children. I'm surprised by it. I mean, you have kids. A lot of us do at this table. If you lived in Florida, what would you be thinking?
I think two things. One, they're not outlawed. That's good. The parents are going to decide. Two, there's a cause and effect, and the CDC lied to us about COVID, and they lied a lot. They lied about masks in schools.
Not true.
They lied about distancing. They lied about the efficiency or the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Not true.
It is true. They said that distancing. Hold on, wait. Did they not lie about the effectiveness of a mask when internal documents
if you
said
talk about
that the
certain
mask
types
did not
of
work in the
masks,
schools?
if we're looking at high quality masks, high quality masks, right? So P95 masks,
I would love it
those masks actually prevent infections. Because look, this is the way science works. Science works that as you get data, the type of communication that you give will improve.
But you can't say the CDC lied.
Florida's doing right now.
You can't say
I actually think it's important.
It's very important.
If you're saying things that are not accurate, I do think it's fair for her to counter that.
The CDC said that masking was effective and worked when they knew internal documents said.
It does
and the emails
work.
came out that it didn't work.
Okay, well, what
True
she
or false?
does. Okay,
6 foot distancing.
Hold on a
True or
second.
false? The CDC say
hold on a second.
Misinformation, folks.
Worked, and it
You're
didn't.
seeing it in action.
First of all,
they said it was going to stop the spread in 2 weeks.
Ben, are you going to have a
action.
conversation, or are you just going to keep talking? Look, hold on, okay? First of all, what she is disputing is your language around this, which is that they lied.
Yes, exactly.
Which she's saying, and I think she's right about this, is not true. There are certain types of masks that work better than others.
We've been using masks
and
for decades.
The whole point of science. I mean, and this is. I think
this is why Florida did this. And this is what you guys don't understand.
Hold on.
There's a cause and effect. The American people don't trust the CDC.
Hold on a second.
That's why Florida did
for the reasons I said. You may not like that. You may not like the American people.
Americans don't trust the CDC
They do not.
because people like RFK Jr. and others.
That's why RFK Jr. got the job he's got now, because so many people didn't trust the CDC.
Hold on a second. Okay, Ben, just give me 1 second, okay? This Florida Surgeon General has been railing against vaccines for a while, but he's also responsible for a lot of misinformation. He's altered key findings in a COVID-19 vaccine safety study.
Malpractice.
He pushed things like cures like ivermectin and others for
Wait,
COVID.
hold on. Did ivermectin not work?
No.
You have data that shows that it did work.
No.
He is pushing
We have
all of those
conclusive
other
data that it does not work effectively.
That is
okay. Ben, are you really going to argue with the doctor
Thank
at the table
you.
about this?
This is
With a doctor who was helping to save
when we all
lives in
listen
a
to doctors
safety net
during COVID,
institution,
you guys screwed us and we failed miserably. You lied about a vaccine.
Let me move on
When we
because
listen to
Isn't it amazing how they're so angry that you have parents that are going to have the right to make a decision for their children, what is best for them? They cannot stand that the government can't dictate to the people, at least in Florida, on the issue of vaccines. They cannot stand to admit that the reason why this happened, the reason why RFK Jr. is in the government, is because the cause and effect of the CDC lying pathologically to the American people every step of the way on the issue of COVID-19 and the effectiveness of vaccines and masking and all the other things that I just mentioned. And they're mad that this is happening in Florida. Now, look, I think the people in Florida should be trusted. I think the people in Florida should have the right to do what's best for their children. And if the doctors are angry that they say the science is overwhelming, that these vaccine mandates should be a thing, well, then they should actually talk to their patients about it with compassion and understanding, instead of the arrogance that you just heard right there from that doctor, condescending and frustrated of anybody that would ever question her as a, quote, doctor. You heard it, and it's amazing that we're still even having the conversation after what we witnessed during COVID.
Thank you for listening to the 47 Morning Update with Ben Ferguson. Please make sure you hit subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. And for more in-depth news, also subscribe to the Ben Ferguson Podcast, and we will see you back here tomorrow.
This is an iHeart podcast.